Okay.
There's greens and blues and a little bit of orange in them.
All the colours of the rainbow then. Rainbow beard. May you bees and wasps and insects.
I saw one boat coming up yesterday.
Learning the ropes, yeah. So normally the Lark skipper does the introduction, but we'll both do it today. Yeah. Okay, Bustard Headlight Station. Built in 1867, operational in 1868. The oldest operating lighthouse in Queensland, and the first lighthouse in Queensland in 1868. There's a little bit of an argument as to whether it was the first. Which one was it, Pat? Cape Morton.
Everybody thinks it's Cape Morton.
Yeah, but when it was built, it was New South Wales. It wasn't Queensland.
Yeah, it was built in 1857 by New South Wales.
So this is the first Queensland one, and there was a bit of a hiccup with this one too, in that there were two lighthouses ordered, one for the top of Fraser Island and this one. They wanted to build the one at the top of Fraser Island first, but guess what? The people that built them over in England in Bridgewater sent this one out first, so they built this one first. Glenn Way, who owned 1770 Environmental Tours, saw some smoke coming up the headland, so they built the race up, put the fire out before the fire gets up to the light station. So they threw their backpacks in the Lark and up they came, but it was too late, the fire had already got up here. Luckily, there were some plastic tanks, similar to those ones that are behind that building there now, but they were green, and the fire burned through the plastic tank and the water bar gushed out and put the fire out. So that was pretty great, wasn't it?
Bridgewater with no E.
Unreal, isn't it? Eh?
No E.
How do they do things?
I wonder if it was his spelling mistakes.
Could it be? Yeah.
It's not coming out.
Look at all the bolts in these.
Yes.
Round the top.
No headlights on the stairways. No, that's all right. Bring it out. It saves me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this lower level right here that we're standing in used to be the storage room. And these stairs didn't used to be here. They used to be on the outside of the lighthouse. So in a second when we go up, you'll see a panel missing and the panel's been replaced, and I'll show you where that is.
Yeah, you go first. We'll just let you get up so I can get some movement going up.
Well, I'm short enough, so.
This is you and your sister. You've got to try and guess what this is. You can have a look inside and you go up. Just watch your head and your shoulders there.
Beautiful. Welcome to the Lantern Room, Bustard Headlight Station. Pretty amazing bit of history we stand in. There's not many people that can say they've been up in a lantern room of a lighthouse. Unfortunately, with the efforts of the tour company, one of the previous lightkeepers has totally revamped the lighthouse from top to toe and tried to do it in all original condition as much as he possibly could, and just to the nth degree. You can see the this lantern that's there was a lot less, or a lot more, but a lot less. So they used to burn the wick, burn kerosene wick inside, and they had to project that light as far as they could. They needed bigger lenses. So
on an island off the West Australian coast, on a Dennis Island, and it's got an operational lighthouse. It's in the 1920s. It's actually really interesting.
yeah, right.
It's about a lighthouse keeper who would, their terms for 3 years, and they never left the island for 3 years.
Just imagine that bulb line and go, have you got another one? I think.
We've got a spare bulb.
Yeah.
Just come up from Canberra, would you?
Yeah, just
replace it.
You just ring the Lark.
Wow.
And look at that. Look how smooth that is.
Beautiful.
Say that again, Blake, so I've got your voice on.
Sorry?
Say that again, so I've got your voice on.
Oh, just spin that with your little finger there, and you'll see that's about a tonne in weight that you're spinning. Just beautifully balanced bit of gear. Stuart has done an amazing job restoring.
Yeah, I'm coming out.
So they used to burn. They had to burn a candle to make the light. So the candle very airy.
Well, because it's such a high tide, it's a bit hard to actually see the rocks, but you can see them. You can see, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So do you know what the unfortunately there's not many Australians that work on any of those ships that work in Australia. Pretty much none, unless they're the captain. All the crews, it's our way to the key high, and we all know vessels from all sort of between the smoke and us. So all that section is the Turkey cattle state. Here's some of the history. If you get that book's amazing reading. It tells us a lot about how people used to live their lives in not that long ago. You know?
And I think, yeah, swapped up that Maria before he was going to come down here, and we saw the wanting LightHouse keepers, and he fancied going, living in the LightHouse. I don't think Mom fancied it.
Good job.
Yeah.
Matter, doesn't bother us at all. Okay, very, very quickly, the picture of Stuart Buchanan is the guy cutting the ribbon there, and his wife Shirley, who's since passed away, and the Murguards are over there. Des has passed away since. If it wasn't for those people, this lighthouse station would not be here. They fought government and everything for it. This one is a very quick story. There was 28 people living on the island in about 1908. One story is here about the Anderson family. Now they lost in their lifetime 6 of their children. 2 are buried down in the cemetery without names on them. One little girl died of an epileptic fit in 1912, and another one died in 1905 from inflammation of the intestines. But this lady here, Edie was in love with half Chinese and half Kanaka. And they were working on a Turkish station, and the father got wind of it because in those days you weren't allowed to mix marriages or mix anything. So he sent somebody by the name of Arthur Coswell to come over and go and get them off the station. And on the way back, George shot Arthur. Somebody, driver went past him and found Arthur laying there almost dead, but he said that George had shot him. Biggest police hunt in 1912 was done.
Well, outside toilet. In the old days, because they didn't have flush toilets, it was all just in a tin. And that was no good in the house. It would have smelled. So, the reason I'm telling you about this is about just below the tunnel, you see a model of a lark. Maybe you came up on the day. So they would lift that up into the near water and install on that. That's the original schematic of the one in particular latched onto Neil's father's arm, and when they were out fishing he pulled it over the gunwale and it latched onto him and hit it with a bit of timber and fell off onto the deck. And the next thing, the hook came out and went through one of the people on board's Achilles tendon. So that was a hospitalisation. You know that sort? Neil's wife's sewing needle, I think, and a candle, and burn it into the tear. Shipping bottles, and we've got venomous cone shells, which I like to tell you young people about. Don't pick them up on the beach because they've got a little harpoon that comes out the front, and its venom is as deadly as a blue-ringed octopus. It will kill you.
If they've got a tent shape on them, in the pattern, that's generally...
South Wales building in 1857, and Queensland was not a state until 6th of June, not 1859. So you missed out. We own it, New South Wales. And they decided that Mum hadn't been seen for a number of hours, so they started looking for her. They took them 2 days to find her, and she was 700 metres down the telegraph pole line, and she had her throat cut from ear to ear. Now, for the people that had a look inside very quickly, and Elizabeth